Hi Writing Mentors. This short video will guide you through the process of keeping accurate payroll records by entering your hours correctly each pay period into 3 different systems: your hours log, PeopleSoft, and TAS. First, I want to highlight that all of these instructions are also included in the Trainings and Payroll link in the Writing Mentor development platform, here. This video is a visual guide that illustrates this written process. Okay, the first thing to remember is to keep an accurate log of the hours you work in the hours log, which is a Google Sheet that the Writing Mentor supervisor has shared with you and your group's instructor. These hours include the work you do responding to discussion boards, uploading grades into Blackboard, communicating weekly with your instructor, crafting supplementary instructional materials, hosting writing workshops, and completing any additional trainings, including semester orientations. Basically, any work you do as a writing mentor should be recorded. It is highly recommended to update your hours log as you do the work, and remember, do not make any changes to the overall format of the document. To track your time in the hours log, input the time you spent on a specific task and then a description of that task. If you spend time completing several tasks on one day, you can create a line break using the instructions on the sample description worksheet. For instance, let's say that on the day I have my 1-hour meeting with my instructor, I also spend 2 hours providing feedback on the introduction discussion board. You will enter the hours shown here. Keep in mind that you want to be accurate down to the quarter hour. So, for reporting purposes, every 15 minutes is 25% of an hour. If you work an hour and 15 minutes on a task, you will record your time as 1.25 hours. If you work an hour and a half, it will be recorded as 1.5 hours. If you work an hour and 45 minutes, it will be recorded as 1.75 hours. Remember, you can only work 25 hours each week, so allocate your time appropriately. If you have multiple ASU jobs, you may not work more than 25 hours per week between the 2 positions. There will also be times when you need to project or estimate your hours for the remainder of the pay period. Use your course syllabus and decide with your group instructor what work you will need to accomplish and an estimate of how long it should take. If you underestimate, just add the extra time the task took you in the following week's hours. If you overestimate, take out the extra time from the task you complete in the following week. You do not need to leave a comment in the hours log for these adjustments. In the hours log, the dates in red are when payroll must be submitted. Though you'll also receive departmental reminders and payroll deadlines, submitting your hours on time is ultimately your responsibility. If you want to be paid on time, be sure to stay on top of submitting your hours accurately and on time. To enter hours into the 2 ASU systems, first log into My ASU. Then click on the staff icon in the top right of the page. Under the My Employment section, click the Time tab. You will need to record your hours in both the Time and Leave Reporting, also known as PeopleSoft, and the Department Time and Attendance Support, also called TAS. I'm going to click the Time and Leave Reporting link first. Once the page loads, click on the drop-down menu labeled View By and choose Calendar Period. This is where you will enter the daily records exactly as they appear in your hours log. Once the page loads, click on the drop-down menu labeled View By and choose Calendar Period. This is where you'll enter the daily records exactly as they appear in your hours log. Continue to fill in until the entire pay period has your recorded hours. Once you have entered the hours for the 2-week pay period, click the drop-down menu labeled Time Reporting Codes and choose Student Hourly Regular Wages. Here's a view of the hours I will be submitting for this pay period. Now I scroll back to the left and click Submit Certify. Here's a view of the hours I am submitting for this pay period. Now I will scroll back to the left and click Submit Certify. After you click the icon, you will receive a pop-up message that shows your hours have been recorded. It's a good practice to go back, scroll to the end, and double-check the total number of hours calculated against your hours log. Next, you will go back to My ASU Home, navigate to the Staff page, the Time tab, and Department Time and Attendance Support. Once the page loads, you will click the New Request icon at the top of the page. Under the drop-down menu for Type, select Hours Worked. You will then click in the date box next to From to select the date for the start of the pay period, and then click the date box next to select the date for the end of the pay period. You will then enter the total hours as calculated in your hours log sheet. Under Comment, you will enter each date and the hours worked separated by a semicolon, like this. Here's a view of the completed hours I will be submitting for this pay period. Once you are finished, double-check that the total number of hours listed matches your hours log exactly, and then click Submit Request. You will receive another pop-up message asking to, again, submit the request, and then you will see a new entry that shows Submitted under the status column. That's all. You will receive a confirmation once your hours have been approved in TAS. I know this may seem like a cumbersome process, but I promise that after a few entries, it will only take a few minutes to complete and ensure you are paid properly and on time. Please email the Writing Mentor Supervisor if you have any questions about this process. Thank you.